Namaskar. Welcome to Rityam Tales. I am Vivek Tiwari again with a tale. Today's tale is all about cleverness and time. Once upon a time there was a kingdom called Vardhaman. It also had a city bearing the same name. The king was a very noble one and appreciated everybody for their loyalty and work. There used to be a very personal counselor and very efficient person whose name was Dantila. Dantila was extremely efficient and he could perform all kind of duties, and the king was very much appreciative of his work, and he was pretty dependent also. Dantila had a servant who used to again serve him as a very loyal person, and he used to serve him with all kinds of odd jobs. Dantila was also very happy with him. But like the old saying goes, when the time comes, especially when you're facing a very stiff situation, you tend to have calm in your minds, but the person loses his or her patience and ultimately takes a wrong decision. This is what happened with Dantila. He was facing a time when his daughter was due to get married, and during this time he was pretty busy and most of his mind was concentrated, it was occupied with the kind of jobs he has to complete before his daughter's wedding. One of these times when he was very busy, his servant Guramba came to him and asked for an offer. Dantila was very busy and he really got annoyed, and he said, "Why have you come at this particular time? There are a lot of guests around, and don't you see that I have to cater to them and I have to manage so many other things? You don't come to my house now. Get out of this place." He spoke very rudely and he spoke very annoyingly. The servant felt very bad because he said that my master has never spoken to me like this and he has humiliated me in front of so many people. And when he went back to his house, he kept on thinking the whole night, how I'm going to take my revenge. Next day morning, Guramba, who also worked at the king's palace, went to king's room and started sweeping his room and spoke a bit loudly, like in murmuring, and he said, "Oh, I could see Dantila. Queen was embracing him, while the king, who was laying on a bed, immediately heard Guramba saying and whispering these things, and he got up and he said, 'What nonsense are you talking about?' So Guramba immediately asked for forgiveness. He said, 'O mighty king, please don't punish me. The whole night I was gambling and I could not sleep well. I don't know what I'm talking about.' Guramba went back and the king kept on thinking, this might be true. And a suspicion grew, and then he told his courtesans and told his people that Dantila should not be allowed to enter the palace. When Dantila arrived near the palace, the doorman stopped him and he said, "You are not allowed to enter, and the king is not very happy with you." Dantila immediately realized, he was a very intelligent person, he immediately realized that there's something wrong, and what have I done in the past where the king would have been so annoyed with my kind of activities. And suddenly he realized that he did nothing wrong, but then day before yesterday, or yesterday itself, there was an incident with his servant Guramba. So he repented that particular incident, and then he went to Guramba and he said, "I'm extremely apologetic to what I have done to you that day. So I again ask you to come and ask for my forgiveness, and here are some gifts for you. So he gave the gifts to his servant Guramba. Guramba was very happy and said, I have to actually make my master feel happy again, because he is the real master, because I am also dependent on him. So he said, now I will show my cleverness again to bring him back to the palace. So next day again, Guramba went and started sweeping the floors, and in a very laughing tone he murmured, oh, the mighty king was having cucumbers in his lavatory. King got up and he said, what lie? You are a liar, Guramba. How can you say this? When did you see me? Now, Guramba said, O mighty king, I ask for your forgiveness. You see, I have got this bad habit of gambling. I could not sleep the whole night. I don't know what I am saying. And then he left from there. The king thought he was lying today. He must have also lied for Dantila, the able, loyal man. So he again thought and pondered, and then he took a decision and called Dantila back to his palace and reappointed him as his personal counselor. The story actually guides us that times change. We have to act according to the times. We must be adept in handling every situation. Every human being is capable of doing that. Every person has his day. We must have a lot of patience to wait for that day to come, but we must keep doing our work efficiently and honestly.